Have you been wanting to break into consulting, but you're not entirely sure where to get started? In this video, I'm going to share with you main 5 types of consulting firms that have the highest headcount that will be easier for you to consider, so that at the end of this video, you're going to walk away knowing exactly which type of consulting firm is the right one for you and will be the easiest to get into. First one, starting with strategy consulting firm. So let's start with a big name first, and these are the ones that everybody knows when they think of consulting. These are the elite firms that focus on solving high-stake problems for clients. They think about corporate strategy, market entry, and even billion-dollar merger and acquisition events. And for example, these are the companies like McKinsey, BCG, Bain. And what do they actually work on? So what type of project do strategy consulting firms work on? These are usually the high-level, really high-level, data-intensive, and also often these projects are focused on defining the future direction of multiple industries. A typical strategy consulting project involves market entry strategy, where your role is to advise a Fortune 500 company on how to expand into an emerging market like Southeast Asia. And this type of project involves conducting market research, assessing competitor landscape, and creating a roadmap for launching a new product or services. What you could also work on is typical merge and acquisition event, and you do a lot of advisory work around M&A. So that means you're going to be guiding a global company through a billion-dollar acquisition of a competing firm, including due diligence, evaluation, and post-merger integration planning, for example. You could also work on corporate strategy, which means that you'll be helping, again, global company redefine, 5-year strategy goals to really get their competitive advantage, streamline their business units, and also boost their profitability. The good thing about joining strategy consulting is you're going to launch your career into straight away the core of the consulting side, and you're going to build so much more foundation for your future. But the con is it's going to be very, very intensive, not to the same point like investment banking, but your typical working hours per week is going to be 60 hours on average. And oftentimes, you're going to do a lot of traveling to client sites, but it is full of opportunities, really. And what type of students are the best to get into strategy consulting? So these companies, they are looking for the best out of the best. They look at your top tier academies, they're looking for leadership experience, and also really, really keen problem solving skills. If you have high achievement for your academic performance, then you're always in the good radar of the recruitment process. The key thing with consulting, specifically with strategy consulting, is they focus so much on their case interviewing skills. They're looking at your communication skill, how you are going to interact with clients, because you are going to be working with top global companies, often their C-suite. The good thing is, you don't necessarily need to have business background or have done an MBA in order to get into strategy consulting. They really welcome students from any kind of background, math, engineering, physics, anything, as long as you have very strong problem-solving skills and also have practiced your business awareness. Now, the second type of consulting firm is management consulting firm, and these are very famous. So you are looking for a mixture of strategy and really the hands-on problem-solving projects, and management consulting is going to give you the best mix of both. What do they work on? They typically help companies streamline operations, optimize their supply chain, and they really overall improve their business procedures. So companies like Deloitte, A.T. Kearney, they fall into the category of management consulting, and also again MBB. What kind of project are you going to work on if you're in management consulting? So these projects really focus on making organizations run much more efficiently, better, faster, and leaner. They're going to offer both strategic and also hands-on problem-solving skills. A typical project within management consulting would be operational efficiency. So for example, you'll be assisting a manufacturing firm to reduce their production costs by identifying where the inefficiencies are, re-engineering the workflow, and also introducing automation technologies to make it much faster. You could also work on another example of project could be supply chain optimization. So you're going to be collaborating with retail giant company to redesign their supply chain for faster delivery time, reduce their shipping costs, and also improve the inventory management. You could also work on more of like the HR side, which is, change management. So you can be supporting, for example, a healthcare company through a digital transformation by training their staff, integrating new technologies, and also minimizing disruption during the transition. You could also work on, cost reduction, making sure that you're partnering with the right financial company to make sure they have the right saving opportunities across different departments. Also, renegotiating vendor contracts and consolidating IT system, for example. The good thing about joining, management consulting firm is you're going to have exposure to multiple industries and you have that really hands-on experience. You're going to be solving, real-world problems. You don't need to have lots of, pressure like MBB. But the downside is, of course, it's less prestigious compared to MBB or the strategy consulting firm. And if you're looking for the top 1% of branding on your CV, then management consulting is less of that. Unlike strategy firm, I would say their recruitment process is less strict in comparison. They're less picky about your background, and they don't necessarily need you to come from, the top 10% of universities. But once again, the similarity between management and strategy consulting firm is they're going to focus so much on your case interviewing skills to understand your data analytical skills, your business understanding. What they're looking for is really students that are team players who can learn very quickly and also be able to communicate very clearly. The third category of consulting firm is tech consulting. And if you're interested in technology, that means you don't necessarily have to be a coder or software engineer. You're a perfect fit for tech consulting. And these are the companies that are really the masterminds behind digital transformation, tech strategies, and even AI implementation. The companies that fall into this category are Accenture, Capgemini, IBM. The type of project that you could be working on involve leveraging technologies to solve business challenges, create new opportunities, and also create future-proof operation that is aligned with technology of the future. So for example, you could be working at AI-powered customer support system, and you'll be designing and also actually implementing AI chatbots for a major retailer to handle customer inquiries efficiently while really reducing the operational costs. You could also work on a little bit more harder version, which is cloud migration strategy, and you'll be transitioning a large financial services for their data and operation to a cloud-based platform to make sure that the security is there, they have the scalability, and also it's also cost-effective. Another bigger project that you could also be working on is digital transformation, which means that you can be essentially helping with a legacy bank to adopt a cutting-edge technology like blockchain for secure and transparent transactions, also safe for their customers. The good thing about working in technology consulting is you'll be working on lead technology, the best of the best, the latest of all, really ahead of all the rest of the business. But the downside is the work can sometimes feel a little bit more technical than just, pure business strategy. And what type of students are they looking for? They love candidates, ideally with technology expert. So coding, cloud computing, data analytics skills will always help you to stand out. But that also means you don't necessarily have to be an expert. You don't have to learn the best, coding skills in order to get into tech consulting. They're also looking for, graduates that have degree in computer science, IT, or just, general engineering. And as long as you have a strong passion and really good understanding about technologies, then you are eligible to apply for tech consulting. Fourth, you have financial advisory and risk consulting firms. Now, this is where all the accounting, all the finance, all the numbers, if you love that, that's perfect for you. And these companies, they tackle financial challenges, for example, like risk management, compliance, and restructuring. So we all know Big Four, EY, KPMG, PwC, and Deloitte, they fall into this category. You also have the Big 8 as well. If you work in this type of company, you typically are going to be working on projects that are highly technical, and you're going to work with some numbers, not a lot, depending on the job itself. You also need to look at regulations and also helping company to minimize their financial risk. So for example, you could work at a corporate restructuring project where you are guiding a retail company that are facing bankruptcy by restructuring its debt, identifying the cost-saving ways, and also really making sure that you create turnaround plan to really help them resolve the profitability issue. You could also work on risk management framework where you develop a comprehensive risk management plan for a big bank to make sure it's compliant with the regulation, and also you can help them mitigate the potential financial losses. You could also, if you come from auditing background or accounting background, you work in auditing and you can investigate, the discrepancy in a large company to see if there's any fraud, recommend the right actions to take, and really help them to make their internal controls much better. The good thing about working in financial advisory consulting firm is it's fantastic if you want to go into finance industry, private equity, any general financial management positions. But the downside is it's generally less dynamic and can be quite technical in terms of the requirement of your financial knowledge. And what kind of candidates they're looking for? They typically look for candidates that have pretty strong financial skills. If you have CFA, CPA, or accounting degree, that'll be better. And the assessment in the recruitment often include financial scenarios or case studies, and they're looking for students that have finance, economics, or accounting background, or if generally have pretty keen eye for the financial side. And the last part, which is the most interesting part to be honest, is the boutique and the niche consulting firm. And if you're passionate about a specific industry, this is the best for you. So these companies specialize in areas like healthcare, energy, luxury goods. For example, LEK is typically for healthcare and life sciences. Roland Berger is strategy consulting firm for retail. The projects usually are quite industry specific and they require a deep understanding of the nuances, what's going on within the sector, offering very specialized insights and solutions for their clients. So for example, if it's in the healthcare industry, you can be working on a healthcare innovation project where you're helping a pharmaceutical company to launch a new cancer drug by helping them on the pricing, how much it should cost, the distribution, where should it sell, and also the regulation compliance specifically to the healthcare industry. For example, if you want to work on renewable energy project, it could look like partnering up with a utility company to explore the financial and the technical viability of transitioning into wind or solar power. And if you work on luxury brand, you can also work on a project like helping them with a high-end fashion label, redefining its brand position and make sure that they improve their customer engagement so that they increase their global presence and increase their market share. And if you're interested in sustainability, you can be helping a mining company, for example, on how to minimize their environmental impacts while maintaining the profitability, making sure that they're using the latest eco-friendly technologies and practice to make sure that is more carbon neutral. The good thing about these specialized and niche consulting firms is it allows you to have early specialization in your career so that you are going to be an expert in the chosen industry that you want to pursue further in. But the downside is the smaller scale means you have fewer global opportunities. And what kind of students are they really looking for? They want depth instead of breadth, right? What you need to do is you need to show them your passion and expertise in the niche that you're interested in. And the interviews are going to include specific case interviews, not just the general case interviews. For example, if you study life sciences, you want to get into healthcare, they really want you to have that experience. If you want to apply for sustainability consulting firms, ideally you want to have sort of degree in sustainability or environments. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit subscribe button. And if you want to learn how to break into consulting, even though if you don't have a lot of consulting experience, then check out this video and I'm going to see you on the other side.